Bob Myers, the architect of the Warriors dynasty roster, is stepping down as the franchise's president and general manager. That's what he told our Adrian Wojnarowski. Now, Myers helped Golden State win 4 championships during his tenure. He was named Executive of the Year twice. And now the Warriors find themselves at a crossroads. So for more, we're joined by senior NBA insider Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, you spoke with Bob Myers. So how did he come to the decision that now was the right time to step away?
And Malika, this is something Bob Myers has really been weighing. For most of the past year, we reported in December that his contract was expiring, that they had not agreed on a new contract. And listen, Bob Myers could have stayed in Golden State, been paid among the highest executives in the NBA. I think ultimately he knows what goes into the job, how taxing it is, certainly a lot of challenges ahead for the Warriors, and ultimately could not get to a place where he thought he was ready to take all that on, invest all that needed to be invested, over a long-term commitment to stay in Golden State. He'll step away, take some time to think about what might be next for him. But I think Bob Myers, people sometimes with general managers, presidents, they look at the roster, the players that were brought in. Bob Myers certainly can stand up against anybody with what he's done. But what separates Bob Myers, Malika, his ability to problem solve, his ability to operate within the egos of coaches and star players and egos of ownership and keep everybody together, keep groups together. Listen, they brought Kevin Durant in, Kevin Durant left, they won 2 titles, and that dynasty continued. They won another championship, and I think that's what makes Bob Myers so unique in the landscape, is the way he is respected, I think, at every level of the industry. And if there is a time that he decides he wants back in this, he will be as coveted as any sports executive, not just in the NBA, but what we've seen, I think, in any North American professional sport. But for now, he's going to step away. His contract expires at the end of the month, and then he'll address all of that at a news conference here at the top of the hour.
Yeah, Myers is stepping away, though, Woj, at an interesting time because the Warriors have a lot of decisions to make this offseason. It includes the long-term futures of Klay Thompson, of Draymond Green, and that's not to mention an expensive luxury tax here. So who are the Warriors targeting to replace Myers and inherit those questions and decisions?
Listen, this is an organization where the owner has a lot of voice, a lot of input, a lot of hands-on with Joe Lacob. Mike Dunleavy Jr., who came into the front office a few years ago, Bob Myers brought him in. I think that, along with Joe Lacob's son, Kirk Lacob, Kirk has a younger brother, Kent, who I think will take on more prominent roles. There's not an expectation Golden State's going to open this up to find perhaps a traditional GM from the outside, that they'll try to fill the void of Bob Myers from within. I think a lot will ride on, Mike Dunleavy Jr., how much he might want to take on in that role now, perhaps as general manager. But there's a lot ahead for this Warriors team, not just the roster questions you just mentioned there, Malika, but Steve Kerr, their coach. He's got a year left on his deal. He said earlier this month or last month, that he would allow this team to get through, the difficult player decisions they have to make. Certainly Bob Myers' decision, but Steve Kerr, who's certainly, the other leadership anchor of this organization, I think his future will be the next challenge for Joe Lacob. And I think the loss of Bob Myers, very few players have the relationship that Steph Curry, Draymond Green specifically, Klay Thompson have with Bob Myers. And those tend to be kind of transactional relationships between executives and players. And Bob Myers has navigated and made it, I think, something much more. So this is a profound loss for this Warriors organization. And certainly it leaves the Lacob family to now take on the brunt of more leadership and maybe even more decision making.